You ever walk out of the doctor's office and just wonder, what happens to all that personal information you just shared? Where does it go? Who gets to see it? And, how is it all kept safe? Well, there's an entire field dedicated to exactly that. And today, we're pulling back the curtain on health information management. And to really get why it's so critical, we've got to start with what happens when it all goes wrong.
All right, so first up, let's talk about when things go sideways. Because when the systems that are supposed to be protecting our most sensitive health data fail, well, the fallout can be massive and very, very expensive. So get a load of this number, $3 million. Nope, that's not a hospital bill for some kind of crazy, complicated surgery. That is the price tag for a single penalty for just one healthcare data breach.
Yeah. In this case, a company called Touchstone Medical Imaging had a server that was basically wide open to the internet. And on that server, the data of over 300,000 patients. We're talking names, social security numbers, all of it, just sitting there. This really shows you, in no uncertain terms, what the real-world stakes are. So what exactly is this protected information they were supposed to be guarding?
Okay, so that brings us to the core of it all. See, to stop breaches like that one, you have to know what you're protecting. You have to understand what protected health information actually is and the core principles that guide how it's secured. This is pretty much the fundamental rulebook.
So here's the key thing to remember. Protected health information, or PHI for short, is basically any piece of health data that can be tied directly back to you as an individual. Your name, your medical record number, your diagnoses, you name it. If it's about your health and it has your name on it, it's PHI. Simple as that.
And to guard that PHI, the pros in this field rely on this really foundational concept. It's kind of the gold standard for security, and it's known as the triad of information security. It sounds fancy, but it's actually simple and incredibly powerful.
Now, what's really cool about this is how these three things have to work together. So confidentiality means only the right people get to see your info. Integrity means that your data is correct and hasn't been messed with, so no one can go in and change your blood type. And then there's availability, which means your doctor can actually get your records when you show up in the ER. You see? You need all three, or the whole system falls apart.
But here's the thing. Protecting that triad is a constant, non-stop battle. And the threats, well, they don't just come from some shadowy hacker in a dark room halfway across the world. They can come from literally anywhere, even from inside the very same building.
That's right. One of the single biggest threats to health data is, well, it's us, people. On the inside, you've got things like unintentional mistakes, an employee accidentally emailing a file to the wrong person. Or worse, you've got malicious insiders who are actively trying to cause damage. And then, of course, you have the external threats, the hackers, the ransomware, and one of the most popular and effective tactics out there, social engineering.
Now, social engineering isn't about writing complicated code, it's about hacking people. It's a bad actor pretending to be someone they're not, maybe someone from IT or even your boss, to trick you into just handing over the keys to the kingdom. And the most common way they do this is with a phishing email. We've all seen them, right? It starts with an email that looks totally legit, you click a link you think is safe, and boom! Just like that, you've either given away your password or downloaded some nasty malware onto your computer. It's shockingly simple, and it works every single day.
So with all these threats flying around, who are the guardians? Who's on the front lines? Well, that would be the health information management professionals. And their most powerful tool, their shield in this fight, is a federal law you've probably heard of.
That's right, HIPPA, the Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act of 1996. This is the big one. It's the foundational law that sets the national standard for protecting your health data. It is the official rulebook that absolutely everyone has to play by.
And HIPAA's security rule is pretty smart about how it breaks down these defenses. It splits them into three main buckets. You've got administrative safeguards, that's the people stuff, like policies and training. Then there are physical safeguards, which is exactly what it sounds like, stuff you can touch, like locks on doors and privacy screens on computers. And finally, technical safeguards, which are all the tools built right into the computer systems themselves.
And one of the absolute superstars of those technical safeguards is encryption. Essentially, what encryption does is it scrambles your data into unreadable gobbledygook, making it completely and utterly useless to anyone who doesn't have the specific digital key to unlock it.
Exactly. It's the digital version of putting your lab results in a sealed envelope. Even if a thief manages to steal the envelope, they can't actually read what's inside. That's why, a lot of the time, if encrypted data is part of a breach, it's still considered secure, because it's totally unusable to the bad guys.
Okay, but here's where this gets really, really cool. Health information management isn't just about playing defense and locking things down. It's also about going on offense, using that same data, once it's secure and organized, to actively improve patient care and even save lives.
Now, don't let all the math on this slide freak you out. Just focus on what it represents, the hospital infection rate. By carefully, meticulously tracking this one number, hospitals can spot trends. They can see if a new hand-washing rule is actually working, or if there's a problem in a specific surgical wing that needs to be fixed. This isn't just numbers on a page. This is data that leads directly to safer procedures and better outcomes for patients. It literally saves lives.
So, how can a math formula improve your care? By turning a sea of raw data into a spotlight that shows doctors and nurses exactly where they can make things safer for you. That is the true power of properly managed health information.
Which brings us full circle, right back to the final and honestly the most important guardian of your health data. Because while all these professionals and hospitals have their responsibilities, the ultimate owner of your information is you.
Under HIPAA, you have some serious rights. You're not just a passive patient. You have the right to see your records and get a copy of them. You can ask for corrections if something's wrong. You can even get a list of who your information has been shared with. This is so important. Knowledge is power, and these rights put you firmly in the driver's seat.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. As our world gets more and more connected, and our health data becomes more and more valuable, this central question is more important than ever. Who should hold the keys to your health information? Who do you trust with your story?